Today we're going to review the installation of the RKP F83 M4 trunk spoiler. We have a spoiler here. We've got a new trunk from BMW here that we'll be using to test fit the spoiler and to show the M3 Post audience how the spoiler is installed. We'll only need a few things. You'll need some alcohol to clean the surface of the trunk. You'll also need some painter's tape. The spoiler itself comes with double-sided tape pre-installed. And finally, all RKP spoilers come with 3M adhesion promoter. Between all of those pieces, you'll start by cleaning the surface of the trunk everywhere where the spoiler is installed with alcohol. You can then take 3M adhesion promoter and open it. Remove the applicator pad and rub the applicator pad across the same surface. Obviously, you only want to do that in the areas where you're installing 3M double-sided tape. That will ensure that the double-sided tape has a strong bond to the surface of the trunk. Once you've cleaned the surface of the trunk, you can test fit the spoiler in position. What I want to show you is that the spoiler will fit in many different positions because of the fact that the trunk has a natural curve to it. There aren't distinct body lines on the F83 M4 trunk. There's no place where the trunk ends. It kind of just blends into the quarter panel. It rolls around from the flat surface here to the quarter panel here. And so any spoiler you install will inevitably be able to, quote, fit the trunk in various positions. It'll be important when you test fit the spoiler before you actually remove the red backing film to check fit all around. What I want to highlight is the fact that in a sloppy install, the spoiler will, quote, fit in position, but it may have gaps at the back or at the front because of the curve of the trunk. You could install the spoiler too far to the right. You could install the spoiler too far to the left. You could install the spoiler too far forward, potentially. You could install the spoiler too far back. All of these things will create gaps. This is a good install to a bad install here if you move it too far to the left. You can again start with a good install, and you can end up, if you move it to the right, with a bad install that has a gap. If you go too far forward, too high up on the trunk, you'll get gaps at the front. When the spoiler is properly installed, it'll be perched just above this body line here. If it's like this, it's too far forward. If it's like this, it's too far back. So if you can get the front fitment correct and you can get the spoiler to be perched above this body line, essentially even with it, then the fit should be dead on. So the spoiler should be perched just above the body line here. If it's too far forward, there will be gaps. If it's too far back, there will be gaps as well. It should be essentially lined up with the body line right here. The other thing that I'd like to point out is that the fit of the spoiler is still going to involve a gap that is generated by the thickness of the 3M double-sided tape. The 3M double-sided tape does have a thickness. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. Obviously, you can't get rid of that because you need to attach the spoiler using double-sided tape. So the best possible fit is going to have a gap that is the thickness of the 3M double-sided tape. Once you've gotten it to that thickness where you can just barely see the double-sided tape on top of the trunk, that's perfect fit of the spoiler. With the help of a friend, I would line up the spoiler from left to right and front to back. Go all the way around the trunk and make sure that you have no gaps at the rear. Make sure you have no gaps at the front. Once you've got the spoiler in position, using the masking tape, mark the corner of the spoiler on both sides. That way you can lift the spoiler off of the trunk and not lose your place. Do that on both sides. But once you've done that, you can remove the spoiler from the trunk and start removing the backing film of the double-sided tape. So you can see the 3M double-sided tape has a red backing film along its entire length. You'll start by taking a small piece of backing film and peeling it off. I don't recommend that you remove all of the red backing film simultaneously. The best thing to do is to remove a very small piece and fold it over like this so that you can use the double-sided tape backing film as a lead. What that allows you to do is position the spoiler back on the trunk, and it won't stick to the trunk surface just yet. You can press the spoiler to the trunk surface gently, you can reposition it and move it around, and it still won't stick to the trunk surface because most of the red backing film is still in place. Once you've got it positioned correctly and you've got the corners lined up with your masking tape corners that you made earlier, you can start peeling back the double-sided tape in order to expose more of the sticky surface. So let's line it up with the trunk. We're going to use our guide here. Again, don't press down on the spoiler until you're confident that it's in the position you want. You'll line up the back of the spoiler. You'll line up your corners with the masking tape corners that you made earlier. And without applying excessive pressure to the spoiler, you're going to start peeling off the red backing film. As you peel off the red backing film, you can start to apply some pressure to the spoiler in order to stick it to the trunk. You're going to go around the entire spoiler and peel the red backing film off of all of the double-sided tape. A good idea when removing the red backing film is to remove it on both ends of the tape strip. By removing the backing film over here and also over here on both ends of the tape strip, you can make sure that even if the backing film tears while you're peeling it, you still have another end to start from so that you can continue to peel the backing film as you install the spoiler. You'll start peeling the backing film and follow it along the edge of the spoiler. Remember, peel first and then apply pressure. You can't apply pressure to the spoiler as you peel, otherwise you'll of course tear the backing film. Let's get it. Once all the backing film's been removed, apply pressure firmly all around, and your install is finished.